Alright, peep the bless, peep the bless, peep the bless. Time on the dial should say 4:20. Much happy. Much blessings to all out there on this great day of celebration and acknowledgement of ancestors, custodians, and the ganja in the place to be. So I think we get underway with a quick smoking session going through, and from there I think we might find a way of the origins of this date that we are celebrating, so-called 420. If you have the time to roll up, make sure you roll up, sit back, relax, hit the like, coming into the stream if you want. Link is in the history, should be there. Pop it up a message if you want to come through. Much peace as always to everybody coming through for this vibe of 420. So oops, as I was trying to go back into the screen and I didn't just keep it on this one. So anyway, let's check this out. People saying 420, wake and bake, whatever it is, legalize it. So wherever you're at, whatever time is, or origin of 420, is it 420 in the time or 420 the date? Is it 420 the number? Let's find out which way we're going to go. Stoners, follow me. So in 1971, five high school students in San Rafael, California, used the term 420 in connection with a plan to search for an abandoned cannabis crop based on a treasure map made by the grower. The Waldos referred to this plan with the phrase 420 Lewis, observed by the cannabis counterculture, legal reformers, obviously, advocates. Significance is the time, the date. To smoke and celebrate, obviously, cannabis observances would be cannabis consumption, man, through the chilam, through the spliff, through the butter, through edibles, through the chalice, through the stigma, through the vape, through any which way you find you feel comfortable, or all of the above. It's up to you. We'll come through and let's see. They'll talk to you a little bit more about it in a couple articles, but I'll click on to this one, see if it'll go a bit further into it. Got a statue here of the place that we were just referring to. So Benny Bufano's 1940 statue of Louis Pasteur in stainless steel and granite at St. Raphael High School, said to be the site of the original 420 gatherings in 1971. Said to be. So yeah, the frequency daily at 420 or annually April 420. I mean April the 20th, which would be 420. So this is obviously going back into here. We'll read a bit more, I guess. The treasure about the treasure map, based on the treasure map made by the guy calling himself the Waldos, because their typical hangout spot was a wall outside the school. The five students, Stephen Kappa, Dave Reddix, Jeffrey Knoll, Larry Schwartz, and Mark Ravitch, designated the Lewis Pasteur statue on the grounds of St. Raphael High School as their meeting place, and 4:20 p.m. as their meeting time. The Waldos referred to this plan with the phrase 420 Lewis. After several failed attempts to find the crop, the group eventually shortened their phrase simply 420, which ultimately evolved into a code word the teens used to refer to consuming cannabis. Steve Hager of High Times was responsible for popularizing the term Waldos. The first High Times mention of 420 smoking and the 420 holiday appeared in May 1991, and the connection to the Waldos appeared in December 1998. Hager attributed the early spread of the phrase of the Grateful Dead followers after Waldo Reddix became a roadie for the Grateful Dead's bassist Phil Lesh, and called for 420 to be the socially accepted hour of the day to consume cannabis. Yeah, so the High Times, with this flashback on that one, High Times being there we go, a very, very popular um, magazine and written format on the topic of cannabis. So the description: High Times is a monthly magazine and cannabis brand with offices in offices in Los Angeles and New York City. The magazine was founded in 1974 by Tom Fourcade, and the publication advocates the legalization of cannabis. The magazine has been involved in the marijuana using. Okay. That's pretty cool. So yeah, it's just one of the top leading journals on cannabis. Obviously, they started in magazine format, but they've got probably a great website. I might just try to go up into here and see if I can get it. Okay, so this. Going into that's the High Times for the thing. So International Day for Cannabis related protest events. It's all about 420 really in America, in Australia. There we go. Australian observances have been held at many locations over many years, including Who Are We Hurting in 2019 in Sydney, Martin Place. Thousands gathered for Weed Day in Melbourne. So that's from the Sydney Morning Herald, 2019. 420 Picnic 2019 in Melbourne. Who Are We Hurting in Sydney again. Who Are You Hurting 2017 in King's Cross. So obviously, as I'll probably mention, as I have the chance now, I just actually looked it up Well, I've attended every year that I've been in the state, the 420, Adelaide 420 celebration and gathering that they have, whichever place it might be, usually in the CBD, but this year actually it didn't take place due to the COVID, which was a bit of a shame. Just being in isolation and stuff like that. I thought they might have done it in sort of a distancing form, but no, obviously not. So we had to do it, obviously do it at home and do it online and get up here and do the same. You know what I mean? Oh, we got a few people in the house, mate. We got much peace, much peace. Oh, I'm doing the wrong thing now. If I can share that, so I gotta share. Hang on. So I'll go back up into this. So people probably have heard about that, the high school student one. I wonder if there's any other, what do you call it, definitions and stuff for the, but what does 420 mean in the Bible? Well, I love God yet. John 4:20. If anyone says I love God yet hates his brother, he is a liar. For anyone who does not love his brother, whom he has seen, cannot love God, whom he has not seen. All right, so check that one out. Okay, so why do stoners celebrate 420? As Hagar explained, Hagar being the High Times founder. So the group of Californian teenagers ritualistically smoked marijuana every day at 4:20 p.m. The ritual spread, and soon 420 became code for smoking marijuana. Another theory is that there are 420 active chemicals in marijuana, hence an obvious connection between the drug and the number. Well, there you go. There was another viewpoint. Not so popular. Not as long as the popularized university students duly making their statue. See what else. Just here. How do you celebrate 420? Come on. Here we go. Here we go. So how do you celebrate 420? How to celebrate 420? Number one, wake and bake. Why not? So that's right. Everybody out there, if you hear this one, I'm sure if you already haven't, no time. It's never too late. Wake and bake. Number two, reflect. 420 is a special day, even if you get high every day. It's very true. Very true. Take some time. Find your solace. Find your place to be and reflect on the times you got high and the times that went by, day by day, further away. And number three, gotta get outside. Yes. April in Colorado means blizzard, followed by shorts weather. Okay, so that's one for people in the Rockies, Colorado. Number four, hit up those sales. That's how we celebrate 420. Yeah, okay. I mean, you can buy an eighth, you can buy an ounce, you can buy a pound. Come see me, it's all G. Number five, eat munchie food. Yay. What's your favorite munchies? Type that one in the chat. If you've got a particular favorite munchie food, do you prefer your desserts, your sweets, or do you like your savory? Would you eat a whole pizza to yourself? Or would you prefer a whole tub of ice cream? Number six, take action. As in, to what means? Roll up, light up. I think that's what you mean. Or as Nate Dogg would say, smoke weed every day. Or seven, watch the classics. Or number eight, which might be one of my favorites, Spark up with the friends at 420. Where's 420, man? No, this time, so that's the what we should be doing. Sparking up 420. Sparking up. So let's stop that for a second. All right, we got a few people at the house. Watch peace. Yeah, but so um, okay, I'll check in. My favorite food. Well, nobody's answered it, but I'll start it off. My favorite munchy food would be. Mm, I don't know. That's a really hard one. I guess it would vary from time to time, but I probably have to say if you're gonna say one thing, I'll probably say like gummy bears. That's probably my like lollies, those gummy bear things. So probably if I get in the mood of munchie zone, I could just hoe out one of those things. And yeah, it's probably something like that. I do eat like ice cream and I do like chocolate to the max. So uh, although like sweets, I don't. Yeah, I realize that sugar is intake is heavy, pretty bad. But although I'm pretty heavy stoner, as you realize. Anyway, back off to the diet. But I eat, yeah, I get in my greens. Um, yeah, man, totally. I was gonna say something like that. Yeah, you can hog through like um a box of cereal real good, eh? You could just sit there with milk and shit and just stone out, munch out, and watch stuff. So yeah, I'll say that one too. Um, so what I was gonna do is try and find another page so I can wait up. I'll go into here. Um, yeah. So we will just see what was going on. Is I think it was Steve Hager, if I wasn't, if my memory serves me correctly, was the founder of this High Times magazine. Um, obviously they started off in the um, paper format. I remember seeing it was like a kind of um, what's the word? Getting a copy of one of these in Australia during um, the like mid '90s, early 2000 period was kind of pretty difficult or few and far between. So um, I remember this sort of in published form and seeing a couple magazines, but people in obviously America and overseas probably were very familiar with it. But now it's gone online, obviously, um, and yeah, they just like go talk about cannabis culture, related paraphernalia, um, you know, and better different stories. But as you can see, a few different headlines there. But I don't know, this is going on about 420, just a quick one. We'll go here. Timeline, the history of 420. 420 is not so much a time or a place as it is a state of mind, a stone state of mind to be specific. San Francisco's hippie hill off limits for 420. San Francisco authorities are telling residents to keep. Therefore, yeah, see, that's unfortunately same as what happened with Adelaide 420, and I'm sure everywhere all around the world this year, people want to, the cannabis community wanting to celebrate, get out and commune together. Unfortunately, um, couldn't do it in San Fran. Oh, the Las Vegas police seized 8.6 mil worth of plants in a record-breaking raid. Okay, don't really want to hear that. Flashback, what's that got to do with it? Now we'll go back to the 420 story, I guess, because that's where I was at. Okay. Yay! Look at that. Yay! The timeline. The history of 420. It's 2014, so that's quite old. I just clicked it, so this would be new. But anyway, not to keep it boring, but get along. 420 is not so much a time or a place as it is a state of mind. A state of mind is to be specific. In the past, High Times has reported on various competing theories surrounding the appearance of this unique bit of smoker slang, but as the following timeline clearly shows, the controversy has been resolved. The original story of 420 begins with 5 fellow students, all of whom assumed that Nom de Pot Waldo, who met after school at the appointed hour to smoke some of California's finest and occasionally search for a hidden pot of fuel they heard about in the hills outside town. So that's referring to the treasure map, which they unfortunately couldn't find, where X marks the spot they gathered. So 1971, same sort of thing. 5 San Rafael students christened the term 420, meeting daily uh, at that hour to share smoke under the school statue. The original password was 420 Louis. Alright, so they had their code and going down to get into their gang and whatnot. Not in their gang, but whatever they're 5, the group of 5. Come on, man, that's not really a cool fact. I'm not even going to even mention that. So, 1973 to 1999, for 20 languages in obscurity, passed along from stoner to stoner as a completely underground grassroots phenomenon. That's right, but that's right. 1990, a mysterious flyer promoting 420 circulates at Grateful Dead shows, especially in Northern California. A copy of the flyer found its way from a show in Oakland to High Times office in New York. San Rafael was the home of Grateful Dead Productions, supporting a link back to the original Waldos, who are not mentioned in the flyer. Well, that was mentioned prior a little bit, as the bass player, one of the Waldos, turned out to be a roadie for the original bass player of the Grateful Dead, if you weren't here before. So then, 91, High Times publishes the text of the mysterious flyer, which claims that 420 started in San Rafael, California, as a police code for marijuana smoking in progress. It also promotes the Grandmaster of all holidays, 420, for April 20th. Yeah, so there's a one police code. Working in progress. 94, clocks in Quentin Tarantino's Pulp Fiction are set to 420. There you go. There's a bit of trivial fact that you may have known, but you do know now. Repeat that. In 1994, Quentin Tarantino's Pulp Fiction, the clocks are set at 420. I'll have to look that next time I see it. 95, the Cannabis Action Network stages its first annual 420 ball in San Francisco at the Maritime Hall. The events begin and ends at 420. 97, High Times launches 420.com, taking 420 into the digital world. So check that. It's been 23 years for 420 launching into the digital world. So that's pretty. Yes, the advances have been taken around the world, a lot of legislation has changed, but still in Australia we're pretty far behind most places. Although still in America, I guess you still got places which are still what's the word, convicting and trying to prosecute people for minor sexual offences and such things like that. Fill it up. 1999 to with what? What's that got to do? Oh, it happened on 420. Okay. What do they care about? Okay, so it goes on. There's a few things going on. 420, 420. So, yeah, man. So, I mean, I'll go back into here. Hope everybody is enjoying theirs. They're 420. If you've got get your roll already blazing, or if you're just, getting your grind on at the moment, better do that. But I think, give me 1 second, I'll be back. If you could hold tight, we'll be back. I'll go to here. All right, we're back. Oh, sorry about that. Had to go get the bowl. So, we been in here for about half an hour, done a few fast food, we got rolls through. We had a few people roll through, which is pretty cool. But people have left. That's all cool. Shit on earth, everybody had the thing in their history. But if you did want to come up, I'd love to hear any tales of, I don't know, 420 you've had. I remember these in the high school. What do you mean? There's the magazines coming? Or just smoking buds? If you smoke. Bob Marley, great advocate. Peter Tosh, great advocate. You know, it's just, I think, yeah, man, take some time to reflect. That's a good one, you know. But yeah, I guess to the fact that if they're gonna say the origin is to be from these students, I guess it's a little bit what's the word? You know, I don't know, it's a little bit off-putting. it away from me because it's based around some preppy students, 5 preppy students that have gone through, maybe a prestigious, not prestigious, but privileged university in the 70s, fighting back, considered hippies, but how many other atrocities were being performed at that same time, and now this has gained worldwide notoriety as something fun and something commemorable. Good. I mean, which is cool enough in which way. I'm here doing the same thing, burning up. But I think Herb's got a more righteous. Herb has a much more righteous place in this world and should be recognized in a more humble, respectful way than some kids wanting to just smoke after class and meet at some spot. Should be 420 all day, every day. If you're with me, you're with me. I'm burning out trees. So for this one, I just rolled up like 2.5 grams and been burning it down. So still going. It's like halfway. But I don't know what else can we look at according to this. It's 420 at that number. You've heard about the hotels avoiding the number 13 because it's considered unlucky. But some are being forced to remove the number 420 because of its links with cannabis culture. The number 420 refers to April 20, 420 in US form, which has become an international holiday for smoking and celebrating marijuana. Well, so obviously some countries are not too happy with it either. They've taken a similar view to it. What's this thing? Okay, so which country would be the one? Well, is that what they really got? 419 plus 1. You're no smoking in room 419 plus 1. 419 plus 1. Wow. There you go. This is some facts out there for you. It obviously looking like it's New Zealand. It said .nz, but go through this little bit of a read, see what it says. In a bid to stop weed enthusiasts from swiping their rooms. Oh, okay. So people have been taking the sign 420 a lot. Some hotels have been taking to extreme measures. A hotel in Colorado, USA. Okay. So it wasn't New Zealand. It's obviously the touristy, or maybe not the touristy sense because it could be locals doing it, but in Colorado, state of full legalized recreational medicinal. Well, there you go. The first state to legalize marijuana. It was the first to stencil its door with the number so stoners couldn't steal it. Wow, that's pretty funny. Which I wonder which hotel that was. So for a convenient hotel in Colorado. That's pretty funny. It's pretty some immature looking there. It's on their way. Leaves are nicely developed, but I'm to it. Oh, okay, here we go. This, okay, these guys, they stenciled it and they painted it on here. The sign from the room. So many times it's been stolen that they had to stencil spray paint it on the door. Wow. I wonder if it. Meanwhile, another hotel renamed it. So these guys did it for the same reason. They were getting it out. Decided to skip from room, and then another place decided to skip from 419 just to go to 421. But the problem does not affect the accommodation sector. Not only, sorry, last year, New York Times report that officials in Colorado were forced to replace a mile 420 sign with mile 419.99 after it similarly became a target for the 6-9 mile market also had to be replaced with the less amusing 68.5. Wow. So in Colorado, there seems to be a lot of people on the, I guess, the jovial side of cannabis and a prankster, I guess you'd call it. Or even people that maybe they're sincerely wanting some souvenirs, but they're just going about it in their own way. Oh, so uh, yeah, uh, I don't know what else we could. Oh, we got a few people. What's up, Atlas? What's up? I say to give a shout out to D Coleman. Um, and OSH, Healy with Mr. P, Atlas 2.0, all in the Healy. So, so I don't know, read these things here. Good bit old, WP. Yeah, man, 420, get on it. But yeah, I guess okay. So people, yeah, pancakes and cream, that'd be good. Shit like that, sweets and desserts and cakes. I get into that anything. But I don't know if anybody heard about this pretty off topic now, off the 420 joint, but I just saw in Canada there was like a shooting of, I don't know, maybe up to 17 people. Some man who dressed up as a police officer and what do you call it? Dressed up and had a police car which was rigged up that looked exactly like one. Supposedly went around and shot like 16 people and eventually probably got shot himself by the police or shot himself. Or he was shot by the police in a takedown. It's pretty, some sort of, I don't know, shocking news. Not shocking, but just like it was the headline that I heard. It's probably all over the news, but it's just in the same time of COVID. It was just bit of a shock. I guess he would have done a lot more damage if it wasn't people in isolation, because he was driving from place to place, so people were out and about. There would have been a much higher fatality rate or whatever. A lot of more people died. But, maybe what that was, I don't really know. Not really focused either. It's pretty sad sort of shit. I'm just pretty mellow now. Getting in my zone, done my thing. I don't know, but it's really slow. I might keep it on for another sort of 20 minutes or so. So, yeah, I don't know. More than welcome anyone to come up, just talk some snap or whatever. Um, okay, I forgot. The DOD saying was the B1 support. I'll shout out, man. I'll be B1. Always shout out, man. You gotta, like, link with your people and link with your culture. At the foremost and at the forefront. So, as I said, I'm still in my lane doing my thing. So, we'll just have to see what happens through time. But it's all, hope we can unite and just be on what. But obviously, that this sort of stuff will be entertained by people, and it'll be entertainment for some people, and it will continue. But hey, that's just what it is. A big parcel people like it because they don't have it in their daily lives. But let's see. Oh, it seems like the theft situation was going on in other places. Speaking of the stolen signs of the 420s that have gone from the hotels out of the Colorado, it seems that Wikipedia is stating some furthermore, so I'll just have a quick look below, a quick read into that. See if I can say that about stolen signs. Signs bearing the number 420 have been frequently stolen in Colorado. The Colorado Department of Transportation replaced the mile marker 420 on the I-70 east side of Denver with the 419.99. Okay, I've said that, in an attempt to stop thievery. However, the focal of the 419.99 sign has caused it to be stolen too, as well as becoming a tourist destination. As of August 2018, the sign was missing, presumed stolen. The Colorado Department of Transport usually will not replace signs that are repeatedly taken, but began the practice of replacing further the road, but began the practice of replacing further down the road after 69-mile marker signs were frequently stolen. Okay, well, these were replaced with the 8.5 mile ones. The Idaho Department of Transport replaced the mile marker 420 sign on US Highway 95 just south of Coeur d'Alene, I guess, with mile marker 419. The Washington State Department of Transport implemented similar measures, but only replaced one of the two 420 signs in the state, with the remaining one being subsequently stolen. According to the Washington Post, there are 11 420-mile markers in the US after 3 replacements and 1 stolen and not replaced. In Goodhue County, Minnesota, officials have changed 420 Street signs to 42X Street. The mile marker 420 sign on US Route 89, the only 420 marker in the state of Utah, is frequently stolen. That's pretty good on 420 Street, 42X in Utah. Okay, so there's a few little things that goes on. I guess we'll just put it's a bit the legislation. I guess a lot of people would know about it in America, but in 2003, California Senate Bill 420 was introduced to regulate medical marijuana use in deliberate reference to the statute of 420 in marijuana culture. An unsuccessful 2000 bill to legalize cannabis in Guam was called Bill 420. The Marijuana Freedom and Opportunity Act, which, if enacted, would decriminalize and deschedule cannabis in the United States, was announced by Senator and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer on April 20, 2018. On January 9, 2019, HR 420 was introduced into the 116th Congress by Representative Earl Bill Minor, named the Regulate Marijuana Like Alcohol Act, which is designed to remove cannabis from the Controlled Substances Act and return regulation to the states. There's some news for you. So, then the dial code of the Czechoslovakian Republic, as the country dial code of the Czech Republic is 420, and the rate of cannabis use there is one of the highest in the world. Some foreign visitors think cannabis is legal in the Central European country. However, those smoking cannabis outdoors are fined, and possessing more than 10 grams of marijuana is considered a crime. In 2016, Snoop Dogg displayed his knowledge of marijuana on the game show The $100,000 Pyramid. Snoop replied without delay that the country code for Czech Republic is 420. He would later use the number as one of the dollar amounts in the Face the Devil bonus round of his 2017 reboot, often a classic American TV game show, The Joker's Wild. Well, that's some information for me. I didn't realize any of that. Wonder if anybody out there kind of did. I'll check into that one. Okay, so I've kind of heard of this, but then I didn't see Snoop go on it. The $10,000 Pyramid debuted in 1973 to honors. Following the success of Washington, D.C.'s Initiative 71 to legalize cannabis in 2014, Mayor Muriel Elizabeth Bowser granted license plate number 420 to the campaign's leader, Adam Eldinger. So he's the Washington, D.C. businessman and cannabis rights activist known for his role in spearheading Initiative 71, which legalized cannabis in the District of Columbia in 2015. Here he is. This motherfucker. she was the district member to award him the license plate. But obviously not that one. Okay, so there's quite a bit of info on, this thing. What do I got down there? Okay, so all the red, this is here we go. Legality of cannabis by the country. You can see here. The blue is obviously all legal. Legal status of cannabis possession for non-medical use. So yellow being illegal but decriminalized. There you go. So that's right. There you go. Pink is illegal but often enforced. Oh, unenforced, sorry. It is illegal but often unenforced. And then the red being completely illegal. So let's have a look. We've only got southern area of Africa, probably South Africa. I don't know if it's just South Africa or another country. That may be Uruguay. Because I'm sure they are one country, in amongst the South American region. So I guess the rest of it is South America is decriminalized. You can see the states of America up there. Morocco is illegal but not often enforced. Egypt, the same story. All in the Middle East, completely illegal. Also Africa, completely illegal. Then we get to Australia. It's obviously Hawaii there. Or where is it? I wonder what island that is to be completely illegal. But we'll go to Australia. Completely illegal on the western side. Okay, so this map, I don't know, they've got it Canberra as legal, so, and that may have been as of only just a couple, or yeah, I think maybe a month ago, because I was actually did a comedy, like a comedy little parody thing on, little, like a sort of skit stream on that, and they'll, because that's the capital city, that's like the Washington DC. It's ACT, there's a territory there, which is Canberra holds the capital city of Australia, and where all the politician and government parliament house is. So they were planning to pass a bill there. I think by February, the end of February is going to be done, but then basically all this COVID thing's happened and we didn't hear much about it, so maybe it got put through. People didn't really hear about it because there is a blue dot there that I didn't see until I zoomed in. So we do have a spot here in Australia. I'll look into that and I'll put some more info, I'm sure, but Northern Territory and South Australia. So this part, for people here, this is where I was born. So Brisbane is. So it was legal there. but then my parents still live there, and so uh, PJ's just here, um, and I moved to here. It's the capital city of South Australia, so it's like a place where it's decriminalised, so we can like possess up to 90 grams of flour, or a bit more, 90 something grams of flour, and you just receive a fine. They'll take the substance out of probably about a little bit over 2 ounces of hash, and you can have a plant in your yard and stuff. So but it's got to be outdoor, no indoor hydro sort of setups and stuff like that. They don't allow that. Yeah, so there was a bit of an interesting thing there. So New Zealand, obviously, were deregulated, but yeah, I mean, is that Hawaii? I thought Hawaii was more like there. I guess it probably is. Um, we'll go up a bit closer here. So Canada is fully all good. There's only a few American states. It's the west coast of Seattle, California. Is that Colorado? Maybe. What did I center there? You've got just another. I actually thought more of it would be blue, or yeah, that's quite interesting. So there is quite a large sector of the United States which is still illegal or holding, criminal charges of against marijuana, whereas like this lower, I guess that's Texas. Is that Texas? It's Texas decriminalized, but everywhere around that still illegal. There's a few decriminalized along the East Coast. That's okay. Well, that's a bit. That's yeah. Some I don't know if people want to really hear this. Is it boring to people? Or, I mean, to me, it's interesting. Legal status of cannabis possession for medical use. Green is legal as authorized by a physician. Okay, so we've always because I've heard about that. Yeah, when I first came here, it was a bit of a surprise to me though too that he was a teenager, a friend of mine. He said his brother, so he's also another teenager. Basically had a severe form of, I think maybe a terminal illness anyway, so cancer or a tumor or some sort of damage or something. Like it's quite serious, and all the treatments were working. But cannabis was something that he obviously was helpful, an ailment, and he was prescribed in some sort, and he was allowed to carry around a canister. Like I was only speaking to the guy's brother, and with the canister it was like 5 grams he could hold. But yeah, so obviously this would fall under that category. So I'd have to probably look up the full medical laws about it here. But you'd have to fall into a terminally ill category to pass for one of those. There's a couple Southern African countries, same. Couple of Eastern European, some of the Southern American, legal for any use only in South Africa. Well, that's kind of all right. So that's news to me too. Uruguay, obviously, Canada, Uruguay, South Africa, um, very well, less legal. So I was going to say very lenient, but legal. So legality of cannabis for let's have a little look there for all the 420 fans. Not too great. Got a little bit to go. Anyway, legality of cannabis for medical and recreational use varies by country in terms of its possession, distribution, and cultivation, and how it can be consumed and what medical conditions it can be used for. These policies in most countries are regulated by the United Nations Single Convention on Narcotic Drugs that was ratified in 1961, along with the 1971 Convention on Psychotropic Substances and the 1988 Convention against illicit traffic in narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances. The use of cannabis for recreational purposes is prohibited in most countries. However, many have adopted a policy of decriminalization to make simple possession a non-criminal offense. Others have much more severe penalties, such as some Asian and Middle Eastern countries where possession of even small amounts is punished by imprisonment for several years. Countries have legalized recreational cannabis that have legalized recreational cannabis are Canada, Georgia, South Africa. Okay, so there was, you can see there, that must be Georgia up around here, in the Eastern European region, or whatever, and Uruguay, plus 11 states, and the District of Columbia in the United States, and the Australian Capital Territory in Australia. Okay, that's what I was talking about. Legality varies in these countries and subnational jurisdictions when it comes to commercial sale. A policy of limited enforcement has also been adopted in many countries, in particular in the Netherlands, where the sale of cannabis is tolerated at licensed coffee shops. But actually, I was on that topic. I actually saw, which quite shocked me. I've been to Amsterdam, and fortunately, in 2007, I think. So it was quite a while ago when the touristy thing was happening, and just think it was 2015 in the actual. I'm not sure if it's Netherlands itself, but definitely in the southern area of. Oh, sorry, not Amsterdam itself, but the southern part of the Netherlands, like the country, they were really clamping down on it, and the political leaders were only allowing citizens of, like Dutch citizens, so citizens of the country or citizens of the Netherlands, to go and purchase inside coffee shops, and it was illegal for tourists to do so in the southern part. So that was quite of a bit of a shock. So I mean, obviously it's still going on. So Amsterdam, I'm sure, would still be running, but or maybe the whole thing has changed in the Netherlands. But it's a bit off topic, but it was quite shocking to see that the government was going that way. But although when I was there, they said the local population really wasn't a high percentage of smokers among it. It was more of a tourist thing that made up the percentage of users within Amsterdam. But back onto the legalization. So countries that have legalized the medical use of cannabis include Argentina, Australia, Canada, Chile, Colombia, Croatia, Cyprus, Germany, Greece, Israel, Italy, Jamaica, Lithuania, Luxembourg, North Macedonia, Norway, the Netherlands, New Zealand, Peru, Portugal, Poland, Switzerland, and Thailand. Thailand, well, others have more restrictive laws that only allow the use of certain cannabis-derived pharmaceutical drugs such as Savitex, Marinol, and Epidiolex. Or that was something that, oh, okay, so in the United States, 33 states and the District of Columbia have legalized the medical use of cannabis, but at the federal level, it remains prohibited for any purpose. So there you go. I'm sure people are all actually aware of that, though. But with the these Savitex, Marinol, and Epidiolex, they're like the cannabis-derived pharmaceutical drugs. I remember reading a article about Australia's research into basically these things, so like synthetic cannabis, and they were really looking at what the article was saying is that they were going to look at the use of only synthetic plants and not having regular cannabis growth. So, and it turned out that, the tests that took place, although the people were suffering from medical conditions and it was from, under medical tests, some of them died, but the tests said that they couldn't relate it to the Epidiolex, but unfortunately I don't think they've rolled it out, but I'll just read this here. So Epidiolex, cannabidiol, CBD is a phytocannabinoid discovered in 1940. It is one of 113 identified cannabinoids in cannabis plants and accounts for up to 40% of the plant's extract as of 2019. Clinical research of cannabidiol included studies of anxiety, cognition, movement disorders, and pain. I don't know if that's Epidiolex. Epidiolex was approved. Okay, so it's some sort of synthesized product. I'm not too much of a fan of those things. I think we should just go with the regular plant and see what's in it and go with that. But keep going for a bit. See if there's anybody around. That's cool. More than welcome to come up if anybody wants to chill, chat, have they say. So by country here, Afghanistan, illegal. Albania, Barbados, legal for spiritual use by registered Rastafarians. That's pretty cool. So the recreational or medical. I don't know if you guys can. I guess we can do this. Get a better view. It's quite interesting. Go a bit slower, so people can. There's countries if you're interested, you can have a read, but Australia, obviously, the recreational decriminalised in Northern Territory and South Australia, legal in Australian Capital Territory, beginning in January 2020. Okay, so it's January. and for the medical, legal at federal level and in all states. Qualifying conditions and other details vary by state. So that goes into what I was saying about the condition my friend's brother had. In Austria, recreational possession for personal use decriminalised as of January 2016. Medical cannabis-derived drugs are decriminalised. Bahamas. In the Bahamas, it's completely illegal. Barbados, I think Godbody was saying he might have some there, and I was saying, so there you go. So he's good to go there. I thought actually the Barbados was a very, maybe it was, or maybe it was the Bahamas police that, whichever the police were, they caught their foot bandit anyway. That was in reference. So Bangladesh, illegal but recreational, but not often enforced and medicinally known. So Barbados is pretty complicit with cannabis, which is very nice to hear. Belarus, so Belgium, don't like England, but decriminalised up to 3 grams of cultivation of one plant. Recreational cannabis products. Belize, up to 10 grams, but medicinally no. Benin, completely legal. Bermuda, up to a quarter ounce, medicinally. In Bolivia, recreational, you can have up to 50 grams, just under 2 ounces. It's illegal in Botswana completely. Brazil, illegal. Educational measures for small amounts of private use. It's illegal for terminally ill patients. Those have also other treatment options in Brazil, similar to Australia here, probably with those guidelines. Brunei, completely illegal. Cambodia, illegal but not enforced. Cameroon, illegal. Burkina Faso is completely illegal. Canada, it's completely illegal. Chile, decriminalized. China, completely legal. Colombia, it's decriminalized up to 22 grams of cultivation of 20 plants for personal use. 20 plants for personal use. Now that's pretty good. You can pull like 50 pounds from that. More. Congo, completely illegal. Decriminalized up to 10 grams in Czech Republic. Because this is the place for cultivation of 5 plants, and medicinally is legal. The same country which has the area code of 420. Denmark, it's illegal recreationally, but legal for the medicinal 4-year pilot program beginning in January 2018. But in some areas, I think it's a little bit lenient. Well, I have a Danish friend who was a drummer in the band I was in, and I can't remember the actual. Cristiano or something. Something. There was a there's a suburb in there that's kind of like Amsterdam. East Timor legal, Dominican Republic legal. All these places around there legal. In Ecuador up to 10 grams. Egypt, as we were saying. Estonia, Ethiopia, completely illegal. Fiji, completely illegal. Both recreational and medicinal. Kava, is a very traditional drink there. Cannabis is very much frowned upon. Fortunately, like it's not a high use of chemical drugs amongst the local population. Uh, and like things are probably changing, the more modern, but ganja is still there in the mountains. But yeah, unfortunately, they frown upon it. Um, I've always thought it'd be a great tourist thing to. It'd be like a Jamaica of the Pacific if they were to uh, change their laws in Fiji. So maybe I should send a letter to the Prime Minister, the Fijian Minister, Fijian Minister of Foreign Affairs. Um, write him an email. Continue to do so. Was the fact become the first dispensary in Fiji? That's what I'm talking about. So we'll keep going down here. If any country stands out to you, Germany here, illegal but occasionally tolerated under federal law. Persecution is optional for small amounts. Legal medicinally, Ghana. It's illegal recreationally, but legal only for THC less than 0.3%. Wow. And Ghana's got some rules there. Greenland, we come up to some illegal places. All in Africa, Guatemala, South America, Haiti, Honduras, Hong Kong. Bum bum, all over the place. We go India, illegal, but exception is made for the use of bang, which is like this drink. So you put that a little bit. So people who aren't aware of what bang is an edible preparation of cannabis originating from the Indian subcontinent. It has been used in food and drink as early as 1000 BC in ancient India. Bhang is traditionally distributed during the spring festival of Holi. Bhang is mainly used in bhang shops which sell cannabis-infused drinks. Um, there's a process here, so it's just like you mix it up, I think, and you extract it out. Pretty common drink, and then I think for Shiva, it's god of ganja. Ireland is starting a medical plan. Oops, sorry. Israel decriminalized but legal for medicinal. I've heard they've been quite into the thing. Research. Jamaica decriminalized up to 2 ounces or cultivation of 5 plants, legal for Rastafari. Oh man, come on. Rastafari, also known as Rastafarianism, is an Abrahamic religion that developed in Jamaica. During the 1930s, it is classified as both a new religious movement and a social movement by the scholars of religion. There is no central authority in control of the movement, and much diversity exists among practitioners. So check that out, man. That's a good one. I'm happy to see that. Japan's very strict on it. Kenya still strict. North Korea unknown. Okay, so they just don't want anybody to know anything. There are conflicting reports on the legal status of cannabis in North Korea. Multiple reports from defectors and tourists claim there is no law regarding the possession of cannabis. As a result, it is not classified as a drug in North Korea, or it is mostly unforced. Or if there is, it is mostly unforced. However, other reports claim that cannabis is illegal. It's unknown. South Korea, illegal, but they're doing these synthesized ones. So they're just saying, oh, okay, so there's some molecular structures and symbols for these particular substances. Keep going down. We'll come check the chat in a minute. Hopefully everybody's chilling. Just getting some information through this thing. I'll keep going down. Obviously it's not, we're at L, so probably nearly halfway through. Malta, you can have an eighth. Mexico, de facto legal for personal use regarding both possession and cultivation, legal for medical use, THC less content below 1% for medicinal use. Netherlands, consumption and sale are tolerated in licensed coffee shop. Possession of up to 5 grams is decriminalized. Cultivation up to 5 plants is unenforced for non-commercial use unless grown in a professional setup. So you can put it outside. In 2020, New Zealand are changing their mind, I believe. Nigeria, illegal completely. Paraguay up to 10 grams. Philippines illegal. Wow. Poland for recreational, illegal, but sometimes not enforced for small amounts. Legal below 0.2% THC. So that means, I guess, if you've got leaf or really, really crappy bud or some stem, you might get away with it. Because obviously, once you go to court, they analyze it, the substance for the percentage and purity of the substance. Sorry. So, for looking for the substance which is consisting of the offense. So, if it's like, obviously it's 0.2%, it's not even 1%. So it's very, very low. It'd be pretty hard to get away with something like that. Where would you have any bud that's got less than that much? Portugal, obviously if anybody people are aware, they've got since 2010, they've pretty much decriminalized all drugs. Their crime has really gone down. The drug, like the stigma on addicts has gone down. I think drug use has even gone down. Like the rehabilitation is working too. I'm just watching a documentary on that the other day. especially people, Portuguese drug laws are actually quite interesting. Um, St. Kitts and Nevis up to 15 grams. It's St. Vincent up to 2 grams. Places in the Western Indies, obviously. Illegal, Senegal, Somalia, South Africa, legal for possession and cultivation but not for sale. Use is illegal, but no system for the dispensing of medicinal cannabis. Well, you can go and do some crazy things over there. Maybe South Sudan, I've got a good friend from there, but unfortunately it's still illegal there. Same with place. Spain, public possession can be fined. Decriminalised, legal below 1% THC. So that's got to be leaf. Like, if you're smoking leaf or something. Or maybe just some really, really low, I don't know how they do, some weak strain. 30 grams in Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah, Tuvalu is in the Pacific. Legal, illegal. Unfortunately, there's no. Where's Tonga? Yeah, see, fortunately, there's no Pacific countries. Or maybe Hawaii. Oh no, but that will fall under USA. Vatican City, it's illegal. And Vanuatu, actually. There you go. There's a Micronesian island with medicinal legality. That's cool. Alright, so we made it all the way from A to Z through the country. Wonder if anybody stayed. Alright, we've got a couple people take for staying, chilling. Oh, what up, man? Got buddy in the house, G. Just happy for 20, my G. There's the link, bro. If I didn't see it come in. That's right, bro. I just did when you get up. Yeah, nice one, man. Getting the 4 grams in the back when I just did 2.5. Thought I'd get up and roll one up, burn one. So when you go up, definitely I'll do it again. But what are you doing now? I wonder, what's the time around your way? About midday, 1 o'clock. Hit the link, come up. Sure. Oh, Cypher's brother in here. Quentin in here too, bro. What up, man? I missed everybody. Kaylee's legal in Nevada. Goddess Supreme. Penny Sparks. Oh my god. Well, I was just ranting along on some really nonsensical stuff. Hopefully it was entertaining in a way, but or informing. Had some really cool people come through, man. So much props and much peace. Hopefully, I mean, yeah, shit, that's just cool. I wouldn't even mention it because it's all good, but for people that do enjoy, just hit the like, share, and comment. All input is welcome. But man, I'm just happy to see like a whole bunch of new faces and stuff coming through, checking out the input because it's just going to continue to grow, obviously. Got to keep coming out with like consistent content which has some sort of relevance and forms into the regulations and stuff. But I don't know how far we were with anyone or with everyone. Yeah, all right, that's cool. I've been known for that though. I've been known for my rambling, so unfortunately I couldn't hold everybody in the crowd. I mean, at this set point of attention, so that's where I got to pick up my technique because I have the skill to speak clearly and project my voice and all this stuff and get consistently to hold the crowd and keep attention. But I've got to be more aware and more prepared and more precise with my speaking technique and I guess and not be more like just chill mad and just come across and say some stuff like this and be in this zone and be like but that's cool. But if you want to but yeah, nah, that's cool. I gotta. That's just me though, so I'll just continue to work at it and do what it is and what I ain't not saying anything either. So it's about 12 o'clock over that side. That's good though. So what do you mean? God body you like reading? Maybe he's going live soon. I should go and check. Yeah, I've got a few notifications up on his one. Doesn't look like he had. Oh, Huey P's gone. I'm not going to be going to the house, obviously. I'm sure there's a few people over there, but hey, Fruity P saying, what up? Happy 420. Thank you, Cole, my man, for just hanging around, though. Much appreciation. That's like, and the comments and stuff. I've been going for 90 minutes, so hey, maybe I'll cut it off, get on that, get it on a good ended off at a good point, but I guess I'll go through the comments once again, just have a check. Shout out people that came through, or people I said before. Kaylee's, happy 420 to you for sure. Atlas, we're gonna hunt a crocodile. Cool. So the crocodile hunter returns in the form of Atlas 2.0. Nice. Bless that man. Crocodile Hunter's champion. We were just talking about him today on Godbody News with Chris Cyphers as well. We were there talk about the legend of Steve Irwin. So may he rest his soul. Penny saying hello. What up? I'm back. Goddess Supreme giving me a 420, blow that smoke and be smiling. That's right. I say, brother, peace to the chat and soul group, Peace Cyphers, Quentin. Yeah, man, just keeping that high frequencies and just chilling and listening, man. And that's the main thing. So, like, I'll be doing my Athena, and that's another sort of area that I wanted to, keep resonating with is just highlighting facts which aren't really on the not so commonly thought about or talked about, and they should be, which are actual, things that took part in the past or achievements which were made by people which are kind of not so commonly talked about and really maybe have been hid away purposely, but if not, I just want to get these facts out there. So that's what pretty much how we do. So I guess I'll head off and much appreciation, much peaceful out there. We'll see you guys again soon, I guess, if you do come through. Have a happy 420. Make sure you whichever way you do, just celebrate it and whatever you do. If you don't want to roll up, maybe eat a bite of cookie, have a bit of a brownie. If you don't want to consume, just chill with your friends, take some time and learn about it. But just appreciate the flower. Mary Jane is the mother. And ganja is my friend. I'm a big ganja advocate. All the rastas out there who are doing it for their spirituality, man. Steam up, you're chilling, bro, and just feel it. So everybody out there, much peace to you, and I'm gonna see you. Sure, I'll see you guys pretty soon on new stream. So make sure you have a good 420. I hope you guys enjoyed. Much peace. Roll up, roll up, roll up, roll up. Come on, come on.